KY3 News starts now.
Picking up the pieces, the debris cleanup across the Ozarks after multiple rounds of severe weather.
I couldn't believe it, hearing everything shake and the glass break.
I mean, we're just all really, really thankful nobody was in there.
45 tornado warnings issued. The big concern now, flooding, with Ava getting more than 7 inches of rain. Team coverage tonight on the damage across the Ozarks, the hundreds of volunteers helping those impacted, and what we can expect next. And hi there, I'm Ethan Forhetz. First on this Wednesday, flooding concerns and storm damage cleanup following a busy night of tornadoes, strong storms, and heavy rain across the Ozarks. One area of concern now is the Rubidoux Creek. This is video of that creek spilling out of its banks at the Upton Access in Pulaski County. KY3 viewer Carla Roderick sent us this video. The creek flows into the Gasconade River and is known for flash flooding. We have team coverage tonight of all the areas across the Ozarks that were hit, focusing on flooding, storm damage, and cleanup efforts going on right now. Flash flooding is already proving deadly. In fact, a man drowned in Ava last night where more than 7 inches of rain has already fallen. Michael Deere kicks off our team coverage tonight in Ava. Michael.
Yeah, Ethan, the Douglas County Sheriff's Office got a call this morning from the family of an Ava man that asked to check on him at a nearby campground. Hours later, they found that man's body hundreds of yards away from his campsite, entangled in debris. Around 8 this morning, Sheriff Krista Gast and deputies were called to Vera Cruz, a Missouri Department of Conservation area that's popular with fishermen and campers.
The tent was still relatively close to where it had been set up at. So what we had to do was wait for the water to go down because we couldn't find the male subject. I came down about noon, and shortly after getting here, I was flagged down by a citizen of Douglas County that had driven on down the road past where we're at now and had seen a body off the road, and I was able to locate that body and identified him as Robbie Turner from Ava, Missouri. Sheriff DeGase says someone warned Turner yesterday before the storms. I just don't think Robbie understood the severity of the weather. He indicated that his tent didn't leak and that he felt he'd be all right staying here. But obviously, when you're looking at upwards of 8 inches of rain, it doesn't take long for the creeks to get up. In neighboring Wright County, emergency management officials say a likely tornado uprooted trees and damaged multiple structures, including homes and barns just north of town. Harold Bunch was alone in his house and thought the storm had passed.
So I was starting back down the stairs, and I heard that noise, and it just a big whoosh sound.
Birch, who lives right by his brother-in-law, got out to survey the damage.
Come down here and I seen what had done, and I called him and I said, Daryl, you don't have a barn no more. And I didn't know mine was gone.
Now, the good thing is no injuries were reported in Mountain Grove. As for here in Ava, Sheriff Krista Gast says depending on where you live here in the county, you saw between 6 and 8 inches of rain. And there is extensive damage here along Highway 14 East around VV Highway. Several trees uprooted. Some structures took some damage. Sheriff Krista Gast says that, too, was likely a tornado. Reporting live in Ava, I'm Michael Deere.
In Lake Ozark, a woman was taken to the hospital after the car she was in was swept away by rushing water. Happened just after 11 o'clock last night in the Meads Flat area. She was found several hours later downriver, holding onto a tree about 50 yards offshore of Swan Creek. We'll get back to our storm coverage in just a minute, but first, a lot of rain on the way. Meteorologist Abby Dyer is in the Storm Team Center with that and our conditions right now in the calm in-between storm.
Yeah, we're in that lull, Ethan, between storm systems. We had the rain on the radar this morning, and it cleared the Ozarks this afternoon. It's only going to be a few hours, though, before we start to see our next batch of rain move in. I hope you had a chance to enjoy the dry time. We certainly need more of it. In a lot of places, we are waterlogged already, and I hate to tell you, but more rain and potentially more heavy rain is on the way this evening and overnight tonight. Temperatures have gotten nice and warm. We got the sun come out here in Springfield, 75, the current temperature. South wind, numbers in the mid-70s all across the Ozarks. So the temperatures are back up, the humidity is back up, and we've kind of been able to build some of that energy again as we head into this afternoon. And we are likely going to see some more storm development as we head into this evening and overnight tonight. That's not what you want to see. Thunderstorms in the forecast again tonight. I'll be back in just a couple of minutes. I'm going to walk you through Futurecast hour by hour. We'll talk about how much more rain is going to arrive overnight.
One of the areas hardest hit by a tornado last night was in and around the Waterford subdivision in Ozark, where some 100 houses were damaged. And tonight we know information just came in. It was an EF2 tornado confirmed that hit there. Amazingly, there were just 3 injuries, and none of them life-threatening. Joe Hickman is in Ozark tonight, where the cleanup has been underway since sunup. Joe.
You know, Ethan, one thing we've learned as we stand here in the epicenter of the area that was the hardest hit, about a dozen or 2 dozen houses actually, and about 100 houses over home with some kind of damage. But one thing we've learned is that tornadoes do not discriminate. They go after mobile homes, they can go after farmhouses, subdivisions, and even large metropolitan areas like Joplin. But tornadoes can be random, as we discovered today, hitting one house and leaving the one next to it untouched.
Like, you're happy it didn't happen to you, but you're sad that it happened to someone else.
Samira Fetchuk echoes the feelings of a lot of people who were spared damage to their homes only to see their next-door neighbor's house torn apart. Her brother-in-law, Eddie Fetchuk, was driving to his parents' house and arrived at the same time the tornado hit. His mom, Valentina, who was in the house, was one of the injured, receiving 14 stitches, while Eddie, who was in his car, miraculously escaped injury.
And I looked to the right side of my neighbors. The house just went gone. And I was like panicking. Like I thought it was a dream. I was like, there's no way a tornado just passed by my car without taking me or anything. Like, it went over me.
That house next door belonged to Steve Crosby and Kim Spino, who were just one day away from moving to Virginia, where they were getting married and starting a new life.
This was going to be a rental property. We had, like an hour before, called our prospective tenant and told her she could move in three weeks early, rent-free, and then the storm hit. She raced in from the garage, said, "This is not good," and that's when the lights went out, and I was face down on the floor with the whole ceiling on top of me.
As volunteers from Convoy of Hope, the Salvation Army, and James River Church converged to provide much-needed assistance, you couldn't help but notice other signs of irony. This house had its exterior ripped off by the high winds. It still had clothes hanging in the closet, a picture with an unbroken frame, a phone still in its cradle, and a teddy bear watching over a bedroom with no wall. It's why, despite losing her house, Kim says,
it's hard going through your stuff, but I've been laughing today. It's good medicine.
Another thing that Kim admitted to today when we were talking to her, she said, I was one of those people that used to watch television, and when there was wall-to-wall coverage, I'd say, hey, I'm missing my favorite show. What are they doing messing up my day? But she goes, you know what? I will never say that again. And she is so thankful for the coverage last night that got them ready for what was to happen, and also the fact that they told everybody we had our kit ready, we had everything ready that we needed to survive the storm, and they did. And it is really a miracle when you look around here that there are only 3 injuries and no deaths. Ethan?
Boy, it is indeed. And it's all about perspective, isn't it? Once you go through something like that, it changes everything. Thanks, Joe. That system that hit Ozark is likely the same system that damaged between 50 and 75 houses to the northeast in the Rogersville area. Not a confirmed tornado there yet. The National Weather Service is still working on that. But we can tell you its path of destruction stretches for about 6 miles. We continue our team coverage now with Francis Watson live in Rogersville.
You said it, Ethan. The National Weather Service is trying to work on what category to put this tornado at. I spoke to the homeowner, Bill Walker, just a little while ago, and he says officials with the National Weather Service tell him it could be a 3. And I'll show you why. I'm going to step behind the camera. You may remember this image from last night. I was here and took a photo of the front door. This entire house was built of brick, and that's why Mr. Walker says the National Weather Service may bump this up to a 3. They said they've never seen anything like this, and that the door being the only thing standing surrounded by that brick, it's something that, again, they've never seen before here in any kind of storm. So to bring it back out here, I'll show you more of the damage. There's houses behind Bill's house that have also been damaged. If I can zoom in a little bit more, you'll see the roofs that were ripped off. And I got to tell you, the devastation isn't just limited to property. I was told that there is a house down the street, not very far from where I'm standing now, where the farmer there has told his neighbors, he came up here and said that he's lost 30 head of cattle. So right now they're trying to assess the damage there and find out where the cattle may have ended up in the storm. So we're going to keep out here and checking more on the damage and bring you some more details later on in the newscasts. Reporting live in Rogersville, I'm Francis Watson.
Also today, the people of Wheaton are dealing with the mess a tornado there left behind. There's video of it. It's now a confirmed EF1 tornado that hit right there. Our team coverage continues tonight with Katie Brousseau, just southwest of town, where a family lost a home, a business, and several other buildings. Katie, that's a lot of loss for one family.
It really is, Ethan, and this is just one of 6 buildings that the Hughes family lost to yesterday's storm. And this house was actually a 2-story house. And what happened was the tornado came through and took out the bottom level. The bottom level was a garage space. And then what happened was the top half just fell down onto this concrete slab. So really just a disaster here where this home once was. And of course, there is debris everywhere, boards, big old pieces of metal. It is just a mess out here. And one thing is for sure, yesterday's storm definitely showed its strength here in Berry County. Sifting through what's left.
Our pictures and clothes.
After a tornado tore through this home.
This is where we started out.
Bob and Stephanie Hughes built this house and passed it down to family.
All 3 of our kids have lived in it.
It's one of 6 buildings on their property hit by Tuesday's tornado. That includes the family business, Southwest Auction Service.
Taxes.
Hughes says his daughter, who works there along with other employees, got out in the nick of time.
God's watched over me our whole entire life.
But they're certainly not the only ones thankful for safety.
This all fell in last night.
Lindy Lombard's home was hit too.
It's tough to stand here and look at it.
He's well known around here as the fire chief.
I'm used to dealing with other things and other people, but it kind of hits home.
But as power is restored to town and people start to pick up the pieces.
It's weird to find all the little things that are just still here.
Out of the disaster comes the kindness of a community.
At least 500 people since yesterday come out and volunteer.
People who say they need no thanks.
I mean, this is family. That's what we do.
Because when someone here is hurting,
if you live in Southwest Missouri, everybody's your family.
You can bet they'll have help.
I love this community and how they come out and supported my family.
As these people come together to remember, it's the fact that people were protected.
This is all sticks and stones. That's all flesh and bones.
That's really important.
As long as God takes care of the flesh and bones, I can work on the sticks and stones.
Now, Hughes does say that only about 20% of what he lost here during yesterday's storm was covered by insurance. So he is hoping that there will be some kind of government assistance available to those who lost property during yesterday's tornado. Reporting live in Wheaton, I'm Katie Brousseau.
Well, just in this newscast, we've hit so many different spots where that outbreak was. It was an incredible outbreak of tornadoes.
Yeah.
What we think were tornadoes. The issue now is getting them confirmed by the National Weather Service, which they're actually doing right now, and you have some new information there.
Yeah, the crews are out. I mean, these are all of the reports that came in last night. Wow. There's flash flood reports, wind reports, tornado reports, and some of these we knew were tornadoes because you were sending us pictures and videos. We saw it. Yeah, law enforcement had their eyes on them, and in a lot of places you have to have the National Weather Service go out, assess some of the damage. So Joe, we just showed you, was in Ozark.
Right.
That now coming in an EF2 in Ozark. They have not put a rating on the Rogersville storm, which was the same cell.
Right.
It could have gone back up into the cloud and then dropped again in Rogersville. EF2 for you, though, in Ozark. Also coming in new to the newsroom in Bergman. That's now an EF1 in northern Arkansas. We also had video of that. And then the ones that they had time earlier this afternoon, they went out to Berry County early today. So this is some of the new information. This one is actually that Purdy storm. So if you look really carefully, here's Purdy right there.
Right.
Just to the northeast of Purdy. That also came in as an EF1 or EF0 tornado. And then the Wheatland one came in as EF1. Also in Berry County. And then up in Lawrence County in Miller, that one EF1.
So that's 5 so far.
5 so far.
Probably many more to come.
And the National Weather Service is going to be out all week. I mean, they really have their work cut out for them with this storm system. There were just so many signatures that we were showing you on the air last night.
Right.
So many signatures where we were thinking, okay, yeah, there's rotation in that storm. They have to go survey all of this, look at the structural damage, and assign a rating. And, of course, we're going to keep you updated as those reports continue to roll in, and they will for the next couple days.
It was an incredible day, unlike any other. Really.
It was, yeah.
We have a little bit of breaking news off topic now. Firefighters are battling a fire right now at a popular Reed Spring restaurant. Crews are at Papooli's there. The fire broke out at about 3 o'clock this afternoon. This is, we're looking live there at the scene. Yeah, it's a live picture. No word on the extent of damage or what sparked the fire at this point. Fortunately, it looks like the fire's out now, and they're just kind of taking inventory of what all has been destroyed inside. We're hoping not much. Papooli's famous, of course, for its Greek menu. Up next here at 5, we'll take a look at more storm damage across the Ozarks. Don't go away. Breaking news tonight out of western Taney County. Crews are searching for a pair of kayakers missing in Bull Creek, and that creek is raging with all this water we've received. The sheriff tells KY3 News the two had been missing actually for several hours before authorities were ever notified. We do have a crew headed there, and we'll have more on what happened and the search just as soon as we get it here and at KY3.com. The cleanup continues tonight in Lebanon, where the storm last night damaged houses and cars and uprooted a lot of trees. Andrew Havranek picks up our team coverage live in one of the hardest hit areas of Lebanon. Andrew.
Ethan, I'm here at one of the trailer parks on Ivy Lane in Lebanon. I was here for my live hit at noon, and when I was here, I was showing you this mobile home. There were actually 2 trees that were on top of this mobile home. As you said, the cleanup continues today. They've actually been able to get those trees off of here, and they've done a lot of cleanup in this trailer park. Many trees were uprooted and cracked, many on different trailers and cars throughout this entire area. But this home that I'm standing in front of is where Bobby Brown and her husband live. They weren't home when those 2 trees came crashing down, but one of their sons were. Now, trees on both sides of the home fell into their trailer, but didn't come the whole way through. If those trees did, they would have come straight through their living room. Now, this isn't the first time Bobby and her family have had to pick themselves up after tragedy. Just last June, Bobby lost her 5 grandkids in a fire in this same trailer park. Now, even though it seems her family can't seem to catch a break, she says she knows there is a lot of people in this park who support each other.
Yeah, but you know, we found a lot of really good friends, and we consider them family through that ordeal, and we'll just all help each other again, just like they helped us in June with our heartbreak. Just kind of help pick each other up and move forward. That's all we can do.
Now, nobody was hurt in the damage here at this trailer park, but I do want to turn the camera around directly across from me. They just cleared this area out. You can see one of these mobile homes with a tree completely inside of it here. If I can get this camera to focus up, that cuts right through that mobile home. I talked with some neighbors. Nobody lived in that trailer. We'll have more coming up on these cleanup efforts coming up tonight at 6 o'clock. But for now, reporting live in Lebanon, I'm Andrew Havranek.
Boy, there's just something about friends who show up when you need them. Glad to see that's happening there and all across the Ozarks now. More flash flooding concerns in the forecast as a chance for rain and storms increases in the Ozarks yet again tonight. Abby's in next with the timing for showers, how long the rain will stick around, and which areas could see flooding. Some extreme flooding possible. First, though, your weather school question. On average, approximately how many feet of water can float a car? Is it 2, 4, or 6?
And now, your KY3 Storm Team forecast.
All right, welcome back, everybody. A little bit more information from the National Weather Service on that tornado report that I just updated you on. That one from Ozark, northern Christian County, north of Ozark. In EF2, a strong EF2, winds estimated 134 miles an hour. Incredibly strong. That's almost EF3 strength, but they're rating it an EF2, 400 yards wide, and it traveled 10 miles. That is the same storm that ended up in Rogersville. Again, they're rated EF2 damage. EF1 in Bergman, EF1 in Miller, EF1 in Wheaton, and EF0 reported for you in Purdy late last night. The reports are still going to come in. That is not all of the confirmed tornadoes from the Ozarks, but that's what the National Weather Service was able to get to so far today. Here's a look at the picture from Table Rock Lake. We did have some sunshine get through, and there's a good deal of cloud cover this afternoon as well. 75 the current temperature in Springfield. South wind 9 miles an hour. Dew point temperatures way up back into the 60s, and this is not necessarily good news for us. We were kind of able to recharge the atmosphere today, and we will see the potential for some strong to severe weather developing again. It's ongoing down in Texas near the Dallas area. That's where the real bullseye of severe weather is expected, but then I expect it to move up through portions of Oklahoma, and yes, it's possible in the Ozarks again as we head into this evening and overnight tonight. So here's what the next 12 hours look like. Best chances for rain for us, they get here after dark, and I don't think it's going to be anything like what we had last night, but there will be additional rain and maybe some thunderstorm activity on the radar. Not good news because we are waterlogged. We have a flash flood watch out for everybody in the viewing area, and then the brighter green color that you see on the map, these are actually flood warnings. They're still in effect. way too much water fell yesterday in a very short period of time. We can't take much more, but unfortunately, more rain and thunderstorm activity is on the way. I want to walk you through Futurecast here, show you one option of what could happen late tonight. You can see how the rain chances just increase. There will be some periods of dry time, but we really don't need any more water, and a few of the cells that are on the radar could have some pockets of heavier downpours in. We could be talking a couple more inches of rain by the time we add it all up on Thursday and Friday. Additional rain then in the forecast as we head into early next week, and we are just going to be seeing too much water too fast, and the active pattern is just going to hold into next week. Overnight tonight, 60 degrees in both Springfield and in Harrison. I have cloud cover. I have the chance for some thunderstorms. That chance is back tomorrow, and we're still pretty mild back into the 70s for afternoon highs. Here's a look at the extended forecast. We're going to be near 70 by Friday and Saturday, then more active weather, Ethan. This is not what we want to see. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, flooding will be in the headlines for the next few weeks in the Ozarks. We really can't. Yeah, you go from being dry to getting too much all of a sudden. Yeah. Weather quiz question today. On average, approximately how many feet of water can float a car?
Pretty sure it's 2, not much.
It is 2. Yeah, it doesn't take a lot, and that can take, you know, a larger SUV to just 2 feet.
Back after this. Just a heads up, our storm coverage continues online, ky3.com. You'll find videos and pictures of the storms, the aftermath, all across the Ozarks. Many viewers have sent us pictures. If you want to add your photos, you can upload them to the free KY3 News and Weather apps. Thanks for watching at 5. We'll see you at 6.